We've got a team of reporters covering everything from the ongoing search and rescue efforts to the heartbreaking memorials for the victims to the investigations now underway and the work being done to make sure other buildings are safe in our area.
Let's take you live there right now with NBC6 anchor Carlos Suarez kicking off our coverage from Surfside. Carlos, a lot of information to digest from the press conference that just wrapped up.
That's exactly right. Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine-Cava says that 12 families have been contacted to be told of the heartbreaking news that the bodies of their loved ones has been found. There were a number of developments from the last briefing that they gave out here at around 6:30 this afternoon. Most prominently featured is the fact that plans are being made for the possibility that these tropical disturbances out in the Caribbean might pose a threat to South Florida. We now know that an additional federal search and rescue team is expected here on the site in case that any of these disturbances eventually become a tropical system and they get close to Florida. The idea is that if these storms get close to us, they can start switching out some of these rescue teams that have been working here for the better part of the last 6 days. The debris removal process is also underway at this hour. This morning, about 9 dump trucks left the collapse site out here. They're taking all of this debris that we're being told is being cataloged for the future investigation. It's being taken to an area near the Golden Glades interchange. There were a number of cars that were also towed away from this scene. One final note from the briefing out here: this is very much still a search and rescue operation. Although having talked to some of these rescuers for the better part of the last 5 to 6 days, there is an overwhelming sense that as they get deeper into some of this debris, they are going to start finding pockets of, unfortunately, bodies is what they're getting ready here. We talked to an Israeli commander just yesterday who says it is not uncommon for there to be very little progress in terms of the number of bodies that are found or human remains, but that every so often you'll see that number get high simply because they are clearing certain parts of the debris field which are not finding anything, but then you do get to one part of the site that inevitably will have human remains or bodies. Here now is the governor from this morning.
This is the attention of the state, of the country, and in some respects the world, and rightfully so. But we also understand it's a big state. This is hurricane season. There's assets here that that could potentially be used in future disasters as those come. So the state government's monitoring all storms that are happening.
All right, and we also got an update from Miami-Dade Fire Chief Alan Kaminsky. He talked about the 9 search grids that have been set up across the site. Now, of those 9 search grids, 3 are located below what used to be the pool deck as well as the entrance to the garage. He says that crews are still trying to get through much of those search grids, and they are using canines to find any possible signs of life, but also any remains. Our coverage now heads over to NBC6 investigator Willard Shepard. He's got the very latest on the operations at this hour. Willard.
All right, Carlos, as we heard there, even more so from the mayor than from the fire chief right there, some details on the search with those canine dogs. One set of dogs actually looking for people who may have survived this terrible collapse last week, and also another set of canines being used to, in essence, find people who have perished and looking to try to locate their bodies. This work continues in a systematic manner. You know, they had cut that trench to be able to make some progress moving forward over the last several days. Inclement weather out here off and on throughout the course of the day. As long as they don't get the lightning, though, that actually shuts them down, they're able to continue to work, although the rain does impede them, making it much more slippery up on the top of the rubble pile. As to the questions of these families, and the mayor referred to it again today as he talked about it yesterday as well, how long is this a rescue operation? A lot of factors going into that. The mayor keeps his optimism, even pointing to a person found years ago in a situation overseas in Bangladesh where the woman was found 17 days after. So he said they're going to continue to keep moving ahead in a search and rescue mode. We talked to the former fire chief, and now retired chief from the city of Fort Lauderdale, Dave Downey, about all that goes into making this decision. As each day goes by, the decision gets closer as to how long this is actually a rescue operation. And here's what Mr. Downey told us.
Well, that's obviously a decision of the leadership here in the county, and they need to take in all the factors that are available to them. Quite frankly, our tempo really isn't going to change. We're going to continue to work around the clock. We're going to continue to mitigate any of the severe hazards. And the goal of all of these rescuers out here is to bring closure. We hope that we can do it through live victim recovery, but we want to bring closure to all of these families. So search and rescue is going to be out here. When they transition, that'll be a decision that they have to make. There's been all kinds of timelines. I mean, the World Trade Center, they were into it for a month before they transitioned. You know, other cases, smaller cases, transition sooner. So it's a dynamic process.
And that dynamic process has a lot of these equations involved in it. We're right outside the area where the actual search and rescue teams, many of them are sleeping back here in an area that they have set up. That's where they're getting their meals, their rest, those 12-hour shifts on and off before they go back over in there. In this kind of operation, obviously at the beginning of it, human nature, a lot of adrenaline getting in there to get this work done. But now this turns into the professionalism that they are showing. A daily grind to be able to stay positive, stay optimistic about this work that they are doing, and they are certainly carrying that out. Other factors we want to tell you this afternoon, and also bring this up for you later during the course of the day. We heard the fire chief say yesterday that they had moved 3 million pounds of concrete out of there. Now, obviously, that is a lot of concrete that they've taken out and a lot of debris. You see them doing it hand by hand, those bucket brigades up on top of the debris. We've now taken a look, just checked with some engineers and also Christy Elias with Elias Construction about this building. And it turns out what we're being told that on one floor, just one floor, there's about 2 million pounds of concrete. When you do the math here, 13-story building, 26 million pounds of concrete, and they have removed about 3 plus a little bit during the course of the night and this morning. So they've got a long way to go. 10 to 15% of this debris, by their estimation, the experts we spoke to a short time ago about this, we're going to explain this more throughout the course of the afternoon, but we just want to give people some perspective since the chief said that 3 million pounds. Yes, it's a huge volume, but there's a long way to go out here. Carlos, back over to you.
Willard, thank you. And the fire chief also this morning says that the debris out here is so brittle that some of the large equipment that's being used to try to remove some of the bigger pieces of concrete, when they get to it and they lift it, the entire thing just falls apart. That is kind of the a description of some of the conditions with respect to this rubble and just how difficult it has been for rescue teams to get much of that out of here.